Basketball fans, welcome back. So, in this game, I'll be talking about US Monastir versus the Rivers Hoopers. So, this matchup was great, and I must say, in the brackets, everything just turned out perfectly for both teams because right now, as we speak, Rivers Hoopers will match up against APR and US Monastir versus Petro de Luanda. So, that US Monastir versus Petro de Luanda in the first round, that reignites the beef that's all started way back in BAL Season 2, where these two teams met in the BAL finals. US Monastir was Petro de Luanda. And US Monastir, they won BAL season 2 and they at the expense of Petro de Luanda. Yes, both teams are the only two teams that are champions. And Rivers Hoopers was the APR. So APR are looking the strongest, especially when they have Alodiar who's healthy and they have a roster that they can be able to, you know, go deep, especially looking at how things happened last year. They couldn't even make the playoffs. But this one, they look the strongest when Alodiar is there because in the three games that Alodiar was either not there or when he was playing on restricted minutes, APR didn't have a chance. And in this one, they're going to match up against a better Rivers Hoopers team. But all I'm going to just say is anything can happen in BAL. So this game, I was following it live. And the game, there was 5,025 people in attendance. And this game did not disappoint because I knew for a fact that US Monastir are going to beat the Rivers Hoopers. I mean, US Monastir, they know they've been there, done that. They're BAL champions. And they've been in the BAL postseason. And they're in the BAL postseason last year even with their performance in last year's postseason, they got knocked out in the playoffs. They couldn't even make back to the finals the way they did in BAL season 2. But looking at what US Monastir able to do even in their first and second seasons, it was commendable. And their roster has kept changing because of the changing personnel. So Babakar Sane for US Monastir, he has been great. In 20 minutes of play, he had 22 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. He was great. Then Osiris Aldridge is another guy who has emerged to be one of the key bucket getters for the US Monster team. He had 10 points, 4 rebounds. And Firas Layani, he had a quiet 11 points and 7 boards. So I was expecting some very good high IQ plays coming from US Monastir, and they did not disappoint. And they showed the disparity between uh, North African teams and the rest of Africa, because North African teams just emulate the European style of play. And even with the other team posing a threat, even if the other team goes ahead and tries to challenge, in this case, the Rivers Hoopers, they'll always look inferior to the US Monastir. So both teams came out with 4-2 records from their respective conferences. US Monastir topped the Sahara Conference, the tough Sahara Conference, the 4-2 record, and he had Rivers Hoopers the 4-2 record, but they were second to Al Ittihad. So the Rivers Hoopers were clearly underdogs in this matchup, and considering the fact that the championship experience that US Monastir have, they they've they had the edge, and they have the edge even going into the first round of the playoffs. And the Rivers Hoopers, they are a team that is trying to go ahead and make their own history because they've never been even successful in the BAL postseason. And the last time they were successful, they finished third in the BAL postseason last year. But that you can't compare that with the BAL championship that USM already has. So, and the roster that made it to third place last year is far removed from what we are seeing today because there are key players that are lost. Will Perry, he left. Right now he's with Euronani. He even left them. He went to Ville Dakar. They stunk it up. They couldn't even make the BAL playoffs, and now he's in Euronani. So, but the Rivers Hoopers have kept changing their roster. So, shooting wise, USM checked all the boxes and they led in majority of the statistics. They shot a 45% clip from the field, 51% on 2 point field goals, and 40% from downtown. And from the free throw line, they were 80%. On 26 attempts, 21 went in. So they were drawing fouls and also getting to the line. And they had 39 rebounds and 24 assists. So USM, very good, very athletic players. They know how to play high IQ basketball. And they're a team that it's very difficult to game plan for them. You need somebody who has experience. You need somebody who can be able to, especially in the coaching staff and the players. You need a team that can be able to be a formidable team that can be able to take them apart. And it's very difficult for any team that is outside North Africa to beat a USM. So yeah, I mean it's a tough one. But looking at even USM's the players that are there, but we had Babakar Sani was great. I mean, this guy was all over the place. He was dunking all over the place. 22 points. Patrick Hardy Jr. He's emerged as one of the key guys that you can go ahead and depend on. And Firas Layan, he has always been, I can say he's underrated because he has immense value and he has been in majority of the runs for USM, and he had a quiet 11 points. Then Andre Edogi, he led in rebounds for USM with 8. Firas Layani 7. Babakar Sani 4. And Patrick Hardy Jr., no, he not only was he second in scoring, but he led in assists with 9 assists. Dengakos 4, and I mean, Dengakos, he's great, and he just didn't find his spots in this game because Babakar Sani, man, he was just dominating. So on the other side, Rafael Rashad Putney, he was great. He had a game high 28 points, and he was one of the brightest spots that the Rivers Hoopers had. Nothing was going in, and Kelvin Amayo had a very, very quiet game in this one. Maduta Ketch was the guy that I thought that he was going to break the 25, 27 point mark in this one, but he only scored a quiet 15 points. Peter Olisemeka, he only had 11. He had a double-double with 11 points and 10 boards, so not much there. But Rafael Rashad Putney was everything for the Rivers Hoopers, and it was the main reason as to why the game kept changing. There were a couple of lead changes in there, and you could see Rivers Hoopers at some point they were going ahead. Then USM hit them with a run, so it was back and forth. And without Rafael Rashad Putney's input, I don't think the Rivers Hoopers will be able to make this game as interesting as it was. But all in all, it was a very good game. So even when it comes down to it, do the Rivers Hoopers have what it takes to make it past, the APR team when push comes to shove? I believe so. I mean, both teams are both the Rivers Hoopers and APR are equally matched. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough one because anything can happen in BAL. I mean, the team that you don't even expect to blow the game, it happens. But USM, they have an edge, especially when it comes to going ahead and making it past the first round. I feel like this year they can because Petro de Luanda don't look the strongest as they have been. So yeah, they might have they might have a highway because they had 5 players scoring 10 points or more and 1 player breaking the 22-point mark. So he was great. And that's in just Babakar Sane, who was everywhere. He shot 57% from the field. Even the guys who went double digits, Patrick Hardy Jr., he was 41% from the field on 5 of 12. He was 5 of 12 and 4 of 4 from the line. Then you could also see the Firas Layani. He was 3 of 7. Didn't attempt too many shots, and he went to the line majority of the time. He was 4 or 5 from the line, so that was great. And his 7 boards were great because his ability to be able to stretch the floor, especially in knocking down the 3 ball and being able to be a cutter, is something that the US Monastir can't live without right now. Then looking at the Rivers Hoopers, I mean, Maduta Ketch, despite playing heavy minutes like that, he wasn't as productive like that because he was 5 of 14, 35% from the field, quite inefficient. And he was a guy that when the matchup was a bit like inferior below average in different possessions, especially in the Kalari Conference, he was taking advantage of that. But when the game becomes difficult, he kind of shrinks. Then Chinka Garba, he played damn near 13 minutes. He was 0 points. The man played, he was just cardio all through. I don't know if guys, I don't know, man. I don't know what happens with sometimes in the games, but hey, sometimes it happens. But Rashad Putney was the guy who carried the Rivers Hoopers in this one with his 28 points. And he was very efficient at it because he was 61%. In 28 minutes, he had 28 points. That means he was scoring at least 1 point per minute. If you try to average it like that. So he was 11 of 18. He went to the line 2 times. He one free throw in there, 7 boards. And yeah, I mean, he just did his thing in there. So all in all, very good game from both teams, and even gave the nod to USM because I knew for a fact that the experience that they've had, especially during the time they've been in deep playoff runs, they have the ability to go ahead and get the job done. So USM, they led in everything. They led in majority of the stats, led in rebounds, assists, fast break points, second chance points, and bench points. So that's where they thrive the most, and that's where they kill majority of the teams. But man, I mean, if you look at the matchups in the postseason right now, I mean, this is going to be fire because I'm just waiting to see who's going to break fast. And majority of the teams that are here are very solid, especially even in the quarterfinals alone. The teams here are solid, and it's only one champion that's gonna get crowned. And the teams that make it to the semis, I mean, it's a one game knockout. It's not, you don't have the luxury of 2 games, 3 games like the NBA postseason or playoffs. So any team can be able to go ahead and dominate at this point. So Rivers Hoopers was the APR. So this matchup is a tough one to call because with Alodiara and APR, anything is possible. They can go ahead and win it at any given point. Rivers Hoopers, I mean, given the type of matchups that they've had, especially in the Kalari Conference and APR's performance in the Nile Conference, I feel like they're evenly matched despite having different records. So it's very difficult to call who's going to win in this one. Then US Monastir versus Petro. Petro are not looking the same. They don't look the same as they don't look they're far removed from the defending champions that they were last year because of the roster changes and their style of play has kind of regressed. And I can even say the way that they played that game against API looks like they tanked so that they can avoid the reverse hoopers. I don't know the logic there. It looks like they tanked in this one because there are a couple of stretches where you could see that they didn't want to score at all. And even if they wanted to score, they went for the least efficient shots. And they're not a team that plays like that. So yeah, I mean, and also losing key pieces that led to that championship for them last year, they might even lose in the first round. I feel like US Monastir, I'm going to give the nod to US Monastir to make it to the second round. And also, uh, for me, I feel like the River Supers can be able to make it past. They can make it past APR, provided they're able to play on all cylinders. But APR is tough because, man, that guy Alodiar, he can even have a career game in there. He's a double machine, and he's very good at picking out easy shots. So in this video, I'm going to do something different. So I'm also going to give some predictions on what I think about today's games. I know by the time this video gets released, a couple of games might have happened, but hey, I mean, fuck it. I mean, I'm just gonna do it the way it is. So Al-Ittihad versus FS Rabat, no brainer. Al-Ittihad are going to make it, and Al Tripoli versus Creole Star, Al Tripoli make it. So we'll go back and look at this video prior to the next ones I'm gonna make, but those are my predictions. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below what you think about these predictions, because that realistically that's what I stand on. So like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified because I'm going to be releasing a ton of content of this nature, especially with the BAL playoffs at hand. And I'm out. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.